Cześć, tu Krzysiek, Mex Armory. Witam Was w specjalnych okolicznościach, targi MSPO oraz specjalny gość Martin, który odwiedził ponownie Polskę. Martin odpowiada za produkcję i za to, jak wyglądają Wasze karabinki Faxon Combat. Okay, Martin. If you could tell us a little bit about Faxon, because people know that they can find in Mex Armory ultralight combat rifles, but they don't know that Faxon Firearms it's only a part of much bigger company and business.
Absolutely. So Faxon Firearms started with Bob and Barry Faxon, their brothers, and they worked in the family machining business, Faxon Machining, which has been around for 40 years. And both of them were very interested in firearms, said, let's start making our own guns. And so they spun off Faxon Firearms in 2012. And it was a small room with a few borrowed machines, and now it is our own 65,000 square foot facility in Ohio, and we produce all of our components that we can in-house, key components like barrels, and then assemble with the best components we can get. So yeah.
That's how it started. That's family-owned, still family-owned company, and it's all about around the machining, precision machining of parts.
Absolutely.
So actually, Faxon Firearms, it's only a small part of much bigger business because Faxon is supplier for defense.
So Faxon Machining as well as Faxon Firearms have had a number of contracts for defense and aerospace, as well as automotive, oil and gas, a whole number of different industries. But we've done defense contracts primarily through Faxon Machining for quite some time, and we try to bring that same precision into all the firearms that we produce, and try to make sure that they're up to the standard of military, police, as well as civilian shooters.
That's a great opportunity for us to know, to ask about some technical issues, because you are like gun Wikipedia. So maybe we'll share some information with our viewers about maybe adjustable gas blocks, because we use them in Faxon, and when we built the idea for combat series, we decided to use the traditional one. So what's your approach, and what's the pros and cons of both of them?
Absolutely. So an adjustable gas block is very good for tuning the system of the rifle, which can help lower recoil and use different types of ammunition. However, it has a main drawback of it is very specific. So once it is tuned, if your ammunition or it gets hotter outside or colder outside, you'd have to tune again. Whereas the fixed gas block, like we use on the combat line, is extremely reliable, military type reliable. It always goes, it will always have enough gas to cycle the system, but the downside being, if you have higher pressure ammunition, you're going to have more recoil and more force coming back. It will run, but it might be a little less pleasant to shoot, but that's why you can use muzzle devices, foregrips, anything else to control the gun.
Yeah. So that's actually, it's more helpful in a very specific situation, but that's also more parts in your AR-15. And more parts, that means that it's a bigger chance for problems earlier or later.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
Okay, Martin, thank you for a short interview, for your time, and I hope that we will see you next year, because actually it's starting to be a tradition that each year you visit Poland, so that was good.
Absolutely. Thank you, Christoph.